There is a theory that the entirety of human history was caused by crops domesticating humans, so humans would grow more crops, furthering the crop population. And of course, not all crops are the same. Some are far easier to grow, and these crops are the top dog, the alpha crops. Most of these alpha crops can be categorized as grains, but can also be called extremely evolved grass. There's only one thing this theory lacks, and it is the part where the grains are at constant war with each other. Yes, that's right, there's a grain war going on, and you are a puppet in the hands of the grass. Society, the Industrial Revolution, gene editing, the military-industrial complex, space colonization, these are all byproducts of the grain war, as each grain keeps pushing humanity to advance so we can plant more grains in more places. Did you really think Christopher Columbus wanted to travel all the way to India? No, he was aware that there was a continent, but wheat doesn't want you to find out that they planned to grow more wheats in the Americas, but instead they found corn. Who are the major players in the war? There are three major factions enjoyed by the different races of the world: wheat, corn, and rice. Enjoyed by Caucasoids and Africans, wheat is most commonly found in bread form, but can be slightly altered to become cake form, breadcrumb form, and even flattened into a tortilla. Wheat seems to reign supreme in the Western Hemisphere, except it is in a brutal feud with another grain. Bred by the natives of the Americas and enjoyed by Hispanics, corn takes a stealthier role in the war. Cornbread is not as popular as wheat bread. Recipes rarely call for the use of corn grains, and corn-based desserts are a rare sight. So how is corn a major faction in the war? Instead of focusing on mainly being used as food, corn has other utilities, and because of this, corn can be directly eaten as a food, dyed and used as maple syrup, used in recipes, pumped into almost all processed food as corn syrup, is used to feed our food, put into fuel, and can be turned into faux leather. The most fashionable grain is also responsible for producing 40% more oxygen than the Amazon rainforest. Enjoyed by the normal people of the East, rice is eaten as a staple crop for well over 3 billion people on a daily basis. But it is nowhere near as versatile as corn or wheat, and is more like an oat than a grain. Yes, it can be turned into cereal, but corn rules the cereal department. Yes, it can be made into bread, but only when mixed with wheat. And yes, it can be turned into an alcoholic beverage, but this is a regional drink. Rice also requires the most water of the three major factions to grow. Entire fields need to be flooded for growth. The two most similar grains have to be corn and rice. Both require far less processing than wheat does. Rice needs to be cut, sifted, and milled for human consumption, or can be made out of plastic. Corn has to be cut, husked, and have its kernels removed. What about wheat? If you believe Minecraft, all you have to do is harvest and crush it into bread. But in reality, it has to be cut by combine, grinded, sifted, milled, and then it has to be put into recipes, unless you like the powder. But the thing that all three have in common is the fact that each grain of wheat, corn, and rice would have been a seed that could have been grown into another plant if it wasn't for your over-consuming mouth. This is not by mistake. Corn is not your average grain. Remember, corn was bred by the natives, and when the palefaces came, they brought their own subpar grain, wheat. Since the natives couldn't fight off the snow-skinned troglodytes, instead, they blessed their corn with a curse. And now, corn in its syrup form is pumped into virtually all foods and is probably responsible for the obesity epidemic. But corn may not always be the top plant. Space colonization may bring upon a great shift in the paradigm. Grains are easy to grow on Earth. In the presence of low gravity, no gravity, or intense gravity, the grains that all grow tall may not be feasible as a staple food for spacefaring people. Yet, there is one root-based vegetable that may steal the spotlight: the humble potato. Bred by the natives of America and enjoyed by the people of Ireland, potatoes grow in soil and can be grown in harsher conditions. They are even able to survive being exposed to the vacuum of space. For now, corn is king, but soon, the potatoes may be pimpin'.